Houston, we have a question.
Houston, we have a question. Every Friday in the 417 Gamer group on Facebook, we ask a question and ask everybody to participate. We've also been sharing this with the Facebook group, the Board Game Group. So I bring a friend from the 417 Gamers on to answer some of the questions that we've been asking. We look back at a month. We're looking at the month of September. Question number 1. What is your most anticipated game currently sitting on your unplayed shelf? Nick?
I'm going with Wingspan Asia. Just got the Wingspan nesting box, the nice big giant box that can store all the Wingspan stuff now and for the future. Had a lot of fun putting that all together, storing everything. That was what I was most excited for, but am excited for the expansion that came inside.
So it all went in there nice and neat?
Oh, it all went in there real nice. There's little cutouts of eggs and like little things. You pull it up. Oh, it's really nice. It's huge. It's very big.
For me, it's Gloomhaven. I have too much invested in Gloomhaven that I haven't played any of it. Kickstarter Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. So many people in the 417 Gamer group are like, oh, this is amazing, and hearing it online, so I kickstarted it. But then when I got Gloomhaven, looked at it, it's a little daunting, and I heard some people saying that it's best at 2 or 3, not great at 4. I'm like, well, maybe that's the case, but you should try Jaws of the Lion, which is a little bit easier step into, and it really walks you through it. So we got that, and that's been sitting on the shelf for a little bit, and Frosthaven's about to be here. That's a lot of investment of Gloomhaven's to not have played it, so that's one I'd like to get played at least once before the end of the year. No guarantees, but I'd like to play it. The 417 Gamer Group, Ethan Facette, who also has a podcast, the Adventurer's Vault podcast, he says Crescent Moon is a game he'd really like to get off his shelf. Question number 2. What is your favorite game with minimal components, Nick?
I'm going to go with Love Letter. Just 16 cards and 4 reference cards and a few cubes in a nice little, I don't know, like it's probably not velvet. Some cloth.
Yeah, well, I
don't know. Red bag. Got a little lettering on it. Real fun. Everybody, you only have one card in your hand at a time, and then you draw the next one and play one of those 2, and half the game you're trying to guess what other people have in their hand, and you're trying to hold the highest card possible at the end, or just to not get eliminated. And it's a lot of fun.
Have you played any of the variants?
I haven't. No. I know you have the Batman.
I have the Batman one, and we played the Jabba's Palace version. I think that might be my favorite version. We gave it away at OzCon. We taught that. Probably ran a dozen, not quite 20 people through, taught it, and then gave it away. That was a good time.
I don't even think I knew that one existed.
Yeah, they're out in West Plains. It's a good little convention, so look to them. I think they're in the August. No, they're in the more the July, June. So if you're out in West Plains, look for OzCon.
Sweet.
In the 417 game. My favorite. I said Oh My Goods back in September, but actually my favorite one is Six Nimmnt. Six Nimmnt is a deck of cards 1 through 106. There's cow heads on them. You play 4 rows, and as you're playing to the row, you flip at the same time. They play kind of chronologically. If you play the 6th card in a row, you have to take the cards before it, and each one has at least one cow head, but some have up to 10. Most cow heads at the end of the game wins. But because of the cards, you can also use them to play the game and the mine. So you actually have 3 games in that box.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. That's,
6 Nimmnt goes to 104, doesn't it?
104.
And mine's only 100.
Yep, so you just take out some cards.
Yeah, how that would work.
The mine goes 1 to 100. The game goes 2 to 99.
Okay.
So you just call your cards.
Have you played the extreme version of 6 Nimmnt where you can play on either side?
No.
That's a nasty variant. It's a lot of fun, though.
I'll have to try that. I do like 6 Nimmnt quite a bit. Steve from the board game group said he likes Battle Sheep, Balloon Cup, Great Heartland Hauling Company, and Glux.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard of any of those 4.
Yeah. Glux is excellent. Battle Sheep, I liked. It was fun. I don't know. I think it was mean, but not mean enough for me. But I thought it was too mean for kids that it was designed for, but you know. Glux is one I think you would really like.
Okay.
Queen Games, abstract strategy. You're putting out the whatever pips on the chit you're putting out tells you how far you can go over. And then you play your next one, and then it's kind of like area control. It's a really fun game. We'll have to get you into one of those.
Yeah, I'd try it.
Question number 3. Favorite games with or about farming? From the board game group, Jesslyn said that there's an old game called the Farming Game, and that was their favorite. For me, Viticulture or Heaven and Ale, and I'd have to lean to Heaven and Ale. That has the puzzle, your monks brewing beer, and whenever you get your resources, you have to decide to put them on the light or the dark side. And one side is accruing more money so you can plant more stuff, and the other one is getting resources so you can brew your beer. So it's that push-pull mechanic on where do you put it, because you don't want to kill your money, but you also need resources. That one's a really fun one.
Nice. Yeah, I'd really like to try that one. I like Viticulture, but
yeah,
I'd like to try that one. This question's pretty easy for me.
Yeah, it's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, Uwe Rosenberg's my favorite designer, and more than half of his games are all about farming. Feast for Odin's my favorite game. There's a little bit of farming in that, but I guess next up would be Agricola, which is undoubtedly about farming. Fantastic, classic worker placement.
Some people
game.
call it misery farming.
Oh, it's miserable, but in the best way possible. Yeah, and all his other games, or not all of them, but most of them have farming.
Quite a bit.
Newsfjord, Caverna, Hallertau,
I mean,
Fields of Arl.
his best game, Bonanza, is also bean farming.
Yeah, that is bean farming. I guess so, yeah. I guess so. I hate when you say that's your favorite. No. I like Bonanza, but
I love Bonanza, but it's not my favorite Uwe. But yes, I don't know. There's something about I'm loud and shouty, so I can get people to trade that wouldn't normally. And I've sat at so many tables, and some would be like, I didn't really care for it. When they're like, we should get this game. I'm like, all right, be careful. You need somebody loud and shouty.
Exactly.
But question number 4. The best game with dragons. Mel from the group said she really likes Drakon. For me, I said Descent 2nd Edition, but I also really need to give a nod to Tsuro. Tsuro is the Chinese dragons flying through, and you kind of track their life by playing a tile and moving your little pawn. It plays 2 to 8, and it plays just about any age level. Yeah. And it's an amazing game.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that one for this question. I was trying to fit in Summoner Wars, because I love Summoner Wars, but I couldn't find any evidence of any dragons in there. I thought there had to have been a dragon there, but I don't think so. So I'm going to go with Fantasy Realms, which also I'm not certain has a dragon, but it's got to have.
It's got one. I mean, there's one on the box.
There is one on the box, but I don't know. I don't think there's a dragon card. Is there? There's probably somebody fighting a dragon on a card or something, maybe.
Could be.
I don't know. Right. Fantasy Realms.
And then question 5. Your favorite game with a mispronounced name. For me, Cyclades. Dudes on a map. Auctioning. You're trying to find the favor of one of the gods, Zeus, Ares. Whether you take control of an area, Poseidon lets you move around, Ares lets you fight people, and then first person to build 2 metropolises win. Really like that one. From the board game group, Blaine said Orleans. Although he did say that anybody that participated should have to pronounce their board game so everybody knows how they think it should be pronounced.
Perfect.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
Nick, yours?
Yeah, I'd go with an Uwe Rosenberg game that I actually don't really know how it's pronounced. Le Havre, Le Havre, Le Harvey Oswald, Le Havre, Le Harva.
Le Havre is excellent.
Yeah, a fantastic game. Kind of a worker placement. You only got one worker and just kind of moves around.
But he's important.
Very important worker. Very important worker. Just a little disc. It's nice.
No, Le Havre is excellent, and I really recommend anybody that starts getting into the deep Euros.
That should be one of the first ones.
Play Le Havre. Don't play it at 4. Play it at 2, 3, or 5.
That's true.
5 is a bit long, but 2, 3, or 5.
I think 3 is the sweet spot.
I think so too.
3-player game, Le Havre. Wonderful.
Lee Harvey, great.
Yes.
Nick, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
In lieu of social medias, you do some music.
I do. Yep. So you can look me up, Nick Fleece, anywhere you would listen to music, Apple Music, Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube. Check it out if you like dark, ambient, experimental stuff.
Okay. We'll put links in the show notes below. Until then, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next time in Houston. Has a question.